without any further ado, James and Haley, come on up. Let's put our hands together and welcome them. We love you guys.
We are so honored to bring this to you. We are a little nervous because it is a very emotional time in our life. So you have to bear with us if it gets emotional. But we will. We're going to start early. Just a little bit background. We have three beautiful kids, and back in 1999 we got married, and we waited a little while to try for kids, but we found out when we were ready, and we found out we're pregnant on December 3rd, 2001, and we were really excited. You know, first child. It's pretty exciting. We're stoked. The pregnancy progressed pretty normally. We saw, you know, the normal sonograms you go in for, and we saw our little speck, you know, in the sonogram, little flashing heartbeats. Pretty awesome how God, just a speck where that's all you see under really a magnified version already of a sonogram. But it was, so we had our 6-week sonogram, and then we got to hear the heartbeat at 10 weeks, and that was just awesome. I mean, I recorded it on my PDA device. It was so cool. You just, we have it still. It's really cool to just be able to hear that life that was beginning in Lily's tummy where God had put it. But, so we, let's see, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. This is more of the pregnancy part. I can stand on this. He started to feel the baby kick at 17 weeks. But, sympathy kicks, yeah.
We began to feel the baby kicking at 17 weeks. It was obvious that there was definitely something there. Most women that have had a baby before, you know that before the baby starts to kick, you know you're pregnant, but it doesn't really feel like you're pregnant until that first sign of life really starts to move, and you're like, oh wow, this is really happening. They're really having a baby this time. So we went for our 20-week routine sonogram. We had chosen not to find out the sex of the baby. We wanted it to be a surprise at the end. So whenever you hear me refer to the baby as it, that's fine. In my head, it's still it, even now. On March 27th, we went to that routine sonogram. We were watching our baby move and watching these amazing legs and hands, and they were measuring the stomach, and it's really incredible to see a baby through a window, basically on a screen, and know that it's yours and that God put it there, and that it was ours, you know, ours together. It was the most amazing feeling in the world. We were asking lots of questions, and the perinatalogist he told us to wait for all questions, so he would answer them all at the end when he was done doing his measurements. We didn't really notice that he was spending a lot of extra time on the spine and on the head of the baby. We were just too in awe of seeing what was on the screen. So we got quiet, and we sat there and we watched the show. And he took the sonogram machine off of my stomach, and he said, he just looked me straight in the eye and said, "This baby's not going to make it." In a very heartless way. I asked him, "What do you mean, this baby's not going to make it?" And he said, "Your baby has a condition called anencephaly. It's incompatible with life. It won't live." So I started asking many questions trying to understand. I said, what do you mean? It won't live. It's moving. It's alive right now. He said that it's on life support in your stomach and it will not survive outside of the womb. And we asked actually many irrational questions. Whenever I think back, I go, oh my gosh, he must have thought we were so petty asking some of these questions. But we were wondering if can this condition be fixed after birth, and he told us no. There's nothing you can do. His bedside manner was horrible. But he left the room, went and called our obstetrician, who just happened to be upstairs, and we went and met with the obstetrician. She was a lot more gentle in her approach. She took the time to explain the condition. She told us the details that we wanted to know, and the entire time I could feel this baby moving inside of my stomach. And I just couldn't believe that something that felt and appeared to be so perfect had something so wrong with it. So the doctor gave us 3 options. I was, right at 20 weeks. Actually, I believe I was 19 weeks and 6 days. But she said that we had the first option, we could induce labor right away, and then I would give birth to a very premature baby, or we could carry to term, which means we were, almost 20 weeks. We would carry an additional 20 weeks until the baby was born. And then we could also terminate the pregnancy by a D&E, which is a dilation and evacuation, which is a pretty word for abortion. I was terrified. James didn't know what to do. He was so wonderful in that he supported anything that I wanted to do, but we only had 30 minutes to make a decision. Basically, they said, your time is up. You have to make a decision now, or insurance won't cover certain procedures. So the thought of giving birth to a very premature baby scared me to death, knowing that it would be one dead. Then the thought of carrying a baby 20 more weeks, knowing that it was going to die right after I delivered, was pretty horrifying. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't feel strong enough. So the D&E was presented that I would be asleep. The D&E was presented that I would go to sleep, and that the baby would be removed, and I would wake up, and it would all be over, and I wouldn't have to see anything. I wouldn't have to deliver. And I thought, gosh, that sounds really easy. And yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to end this. I want to get it done. So the doctor gave me a phone number to a clinic in Dallas, and I'm ashamed to admit that I gave them a call, and I scheduled an appointment for the following morning to have my D&E. We were devastated. That's the best way to say it. We went out to our car, and we were tormented with this idea of this life that was going to end. Our much wanted, our much loved baby was going to be taken away from us, and there was nothing we could do about it. So we went home after calling some family and friends, and we had some friends of ours from church that asked if they could bring us dinner. We said, sure. They came over, they brought us dinner. They pleaded with us to change our minds. And we had already decided before they came over, we knew, they're going to try to change our minds. And we had made a pact with each other. We're not going to change our minds. We're not going to do it because I can't do this. And no matter what they say, we're going to go ahead with our plan. So they didn't take no for an answer. They very lovingly suggested that we go visit some more friends. So we went up to their house, and after many hours of praying their behalf, and just really seeking the Lord's will, we decided to give our baby a chance at life.
When we made that decision, we were so tormented because both of us are very pro-life. Abortion was not even a word in our vocabulary as far as we just thought we were the exception because our baby had no chance of life already, and I don't know, it was, in my mind, it was, I can't see Haley going through 20 more weeks of emotional torment every time the baby kicked. It was hard. It's hard to support her in that. But tell you, as soon as we gave it all up to God and just let down our wall of emotions, it was overpowering peace that was awesome. It was not of this world because there's no way emotionally we could have done this by ourselves. I mean, we were just devastated. So, man, we had peace. I mean, it was just like this burden lift off our shoulders, and it was no longer our decision. It was we gave it to the Lord, and we gave our baby to the Lord, and we gave our life and our decision of carrying us through this time to the Lord, and it was amazing. It was amazing what God carried us through just by us making that decision. And I mean, we did have hard times during the 41 weeks. It was, I mean, the rest of 20, I guess it was 21 weeks that we had left. It was not easy at all. We had lots of friends and support that just lifted us up like crazy. It was awesome. Just the support that we had. We actually even, it's not our notes, but I think it's really cool. We took a leap of faith, and we believed in a miracle. I mean, we were really believing that a miracle was going to be done. We had no idea what kind of miracle, but we believed that God changed our minds for a reason. So we believed in life. Anyways, we actually took a child raising course through our church called Growing Kids God's Way during this pregnancy. So actually, we got to be with other moms that were in this same time of pregnancies, and man, unbelievable on just the support we had through that, and just them praying over us every week. It was just incredible, and we learned just to, believing that we're going to be parents one day, so we need this, but may not be parents this time, we don't know, but we're going to believe for a miracle. And anyways, we like I said, it was rough, but like I said, the peace was overwhelming. It was just incredible, and we went in to the hospital. They induced labor. They had to induce just these circumstances that these babies carry. They have to induce. They don't naturally progress like a lot of other babies. So, I guess some of them do. But anyways, we induced labor on August 20th at 6 a.m. And man, we went in, and next thing I know, we've got friends and family showing up like crazy. I mean, it's incredible. I was just amazed. I tell you, we had a huge testimony at the hospital alone because we had, I don't know how many people were there. There was at least 20, 30 more.
Yeah.
It was a party. We were a little jealous because we weren't part of this party out in the. I mean, they brought in food, and they were there. I mean, they were like was all our friends and family. It was incredible. And we went through 22 hours of labor, and they stuck it out. I mean,
Camped out.
they were camped out. We got photos of everybody just sleeping on the floor, people propped up against pillars. That was my dad. It was crazy. But it was incredible. Just the support was all the way to the end, and the nursing staff was just amazed. I mean, God just so gave us peace in that realm too. We played praise and worship music during our labor and delivery, and just the nurses would walk in and say, "Man, when we walk in this room, there's a peace, and it's incredible." And they knew our circumstance. They actually knew we had a special circumstance, so they put us in a special room, both in labor and delivery and postpartum. But they were just it was an awesome testimony. They could tell that this God was all over, and just lifting us up. 22 hours later, on August 21st, 4:10 a.m., we found out we had a girl, and it was awesome. And she was deformed. I mean, but she lived, and that was our miracle. We got our miracle. She had a heartbeat that was kind of weak at first, so we weren't really sure how much time we had with her. So we spent like the first hour with her, just giving her the regular time that you would normally have with a baby. And they were incredible about letting us hold our baby and do the things without taking the baby away from us a lot of times. But we got to hold her a lot. And then after that hour, we called in friends and family. And man,
that was quite a train.
Yeah, everybody got to hold her.
People filtering in and out.
It was amazing. It's like she was sticking it out just so everybody could hold her and sing to her, and she got baptized. And I mean, it was amazing, just how many friends and family got to meet her, and we could tell she was kind of having a rough time. We had some more time with her, and at 8:05. 3 hours. We had 3 hours and 55 minutes with her. She took her last breath, and she went to be with Jesus. And it was just awesome. But it was heart-wrenching at the same time. Nobody wants to lose their child. And it was hard to see what God had in store for us, and why we went through this. But God has shown us through lots and lots of testimony, through faith. We named her Faith, and it was just that was a God-given name. She's been a great testimony in what God carried us through. I don't know if anybody's heard that poem of your footsteps in the sand, your footprints in the sand, and they ended, and then your footprints began again, and the poem says something to the effect of, "That's when I carried you, is when your footprints were not there." And that meant a lot to us. We have a lot of memories. We had a lot of took a lot of photos. We have we celebrate her birthday every year, and she's a part of our life. She's just through different ways she has. We've been able to counsel and to use her testimony in so many ways. It's changed our life for sure. In tons of ways. I mean, if you ever get to go out with us sometime, we can share more just on how much just God has put that faith in us to just rely on Him in those times when it's rough. And anyways, the best decision we had made was to carry out what God had created, and her life, and just not listening to our emotions. But we are so blessed to have godly friends, to be bold enough to show us the light when we were blinded by emotions and in the lack of our own strength. Anyways, that's Faith's story, and it's glad we got to share part of our lives with you guys.